Hello, I'm Alicia Davis.
And I'm Stacy Watson.
We are the founders and co-owners of Transformative Leadership Strategies. And in our last video, we were referencing a Forbes article where we were talking about how impactful leaders are, managers are to the mental and emotional well-being of their staff. And we wanted to do a part two of that because we got a really great response to that email that we sent out. It's really resonating, Stace.
I was just going to say, I think it really resonated. And it's probably because we know it to be true, both from
Right.
the perspective of being staff members and employees ourselves and knowing
Yep.
how our leadership matters to us, and then recognizing as leaders how we really do make a difference in sort of the mental health and well-being of the people on our teams.
That's right.
And so last time we talked a little bit more generally just about acknowledging that that is true and how it can be uncomfortable sometimes to talk about mental health and mental health
Right.
challenges. We might feel uncomfortable ourselves and trying to create a space to do that with our team members. So that was sort of our focus. And today I think we want to focus a little bit more on what they talk about in the article, some practical ways that we can support, ourselves as leaders and our team when it comes to mental health.
That's right. And we really wanted to frame it in the way that we approach leadership, which is around both the aspect of how are we being, right? How
Yes.
are we showing up as a person in our leadership? And then specifically, what are we doing? And so we're going to share a couple of ideas, and then there's more in the article. But the first one is really about how are you as the leader, how are you managing yourself, right?
Right.
And what does that mean exactly, Stace, from the framework of the article?
Well, I think, and we've talked about this a little bit in other recordings, I know the article just talks about how important it is to recognize how we're showing up and how we're kind of quote unquote caring for ourselves as leaders. And sometimes as leaders, and I know we work with leaders who just take it, take it, take it. They take on the
Yep.
weight of the world, the weight of the organization often, on their shoulders, and they work endless hours and never take time off. And, that maybe is honorable in that it shows commitment, and it also doesn't really model boundaries around healthy balance or any of those types of things.
That's right.
So I think the first piece is really just recognizing, how am I navigating my own mental health as it relates to work? And just being really open and honest with ourselves about that, or perhaps with a trusted friend or advisor.
Well, right. And also being intentional about,
Yes.
making a conscious choice. And it might be, making a conscious choice to pause throughout the day, to reset, right? Even if it's for a minute, or to really do something at the, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a transition time at the end of the day to, as much as possible, like let that day be done. And that's
Yes,
really hard, right? It's
it
really hard
is.
for leaders. It's a mindfulness practice, and it's practice, right? It is absolutely practice.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and I think the other thing, another aspect of what this article is talking about in terms of what leaders can do kind of ties in with this mental health, because as a leader, leaders are really responsible for visioning, for
Mm,
pointing the organization in a direction, of course, with all of the support of the team. And that was really an important aspect in this article as well, wasn't it?
yeah, they talked about sort of, I think this part of the article was titled "Give People a Reason to Care."
Right.
And it was really about just reconnecting to our why. I think Simon Sinek does a lot of the, sort of conversation, has a lot of conversations around this question about our why. And organizations have a why. And so many of the organizations we work with, they're very mission driven, very mission focused. So sometimes we get very preoccupied with the details of the day, the details of the tasks. And it makes perfect sense. We just get sort of sucked into that. And so it can be important and helpful to zoom out a little bit and just reconnect to those individuals that are being positively affected with all of the work that we do, or the difference we're making in our communities or in the lives of the people that we serve. So it can be really helpful, I think, from a mental health perspective for both leaders and staff members to just take a moment and reflect on some success stories, to reflect on just the things that really are mattering. That even though, yes, it's hard, even though, yes, we have a lot going on, that we can remember that what we're doing makes a big difference.
That's right. So if you would like to read more of the article, there's a link here in the newsletter. And certainly if you'd love to, we'd love to talk to you if you'd like to talk to us about any of our approach to leadership development. And we hope this was helpful and inspiring, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Yes, take good care.